Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, May 5, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call this Wednesday night after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go over the things that have been committed to the American people over the last, well, let's just say over 100 days, and the things that have occurred and the things that haven't occurred, and the whys. We're also working on a way to allow people to, people that aren't, I don't know, twisted or whatever you want to call it, on the call, that get the calls and bash them and everything. So we're working on that so that the people that do want to listen to those calls and they get something out of those calls will be able to do so. And we'll let you know when we've come up with a solution for that. But I've had to lock the calls out as far as having people access them, because the people are grabbing them and putting them viral, and they're throwing them out there everywhere, and the people that are commenting are, it's not a positive thing. The only way now is to listen to them live till we rectify the situation. I would believe that those are most of the people. Most of those people are asleep, and so change in certain things and the things that are confusing. The mind is too small of a container to comprehend a lot, so they have a tendency to all of a sudden lash out. We haven't had this issue. I mean, we're going into the 8 years, and up until recently. So I think there's a lot of people that are pretty stressed out, to say the least. You can conquer almost any fear if you will only make up your mind to do so. For remember, fear doesn't exist anywhere except in the mind. Dale Carnegie. Nothing that we live, experience, right? It's all from the mind. All of it is from the mind. And then once we know that, we deeply know that without any confusion, and we know that by doing these meditations, we step away from the mind. We leave it alone. We don't, it's there, of course, but in the meditation we go into the now. And when you practice something, we all know this, I believe, when we practice enough, it becomes automatic. We just do it and we do it, and not in a way where we feel like we have to do it. We do it because we want to do it. That's crucial. And we get into the practice, and so it gets to the point where it's an everyday of staying in the now. Right now, most of the people on this planet are mired in yesterday and tomorrow, which is, it's not a surprise, because that's what we've been taught, directed. There's things that are going to be coming out about the origins of this civilization that have been buried, hidden, literally kept away from the very beings, us, that should have that information about our beginnings. These bodies is what I'm talking about, and what happened, and why are we in this cycle of repetitive not remembering. So there's going to be a lot of information that's going to flood out And then there's going to be information that will try to countermine that. As we know, where the lower dark matter frequencies do everything they can to make the truth the lie. Freedom means the opportunity to be what we never thought we would be. Daniel J. Borston. Relax, and in these meditations, you find a comfortable place. You don't have any outside distractions. You're as still as a statue. You're relaxed into the body, and you're focused on the breath rising and falling, just your natural breathing. That's it. Take this moment of your precious life to relax your body right now. Breathe deeply into your heart. Let everything be okay as it is. Be fully relaxed and at ease in this moment. Notice how different you feel. The instant you relax your heart, your heart opens. And the mind automatically stops grasping to overcome its problems. By relaxing, we learn that we can surrender to life and actually become the solution we were seeking. Every problem in our lives is instantly solved through the divine, all-loving, expansive heart energy within us. It is always available and found through relaxation and surrender. Why do you think or believe so many of us throughout the ages are constantly striving to find ways to relax, and most of the time we never really do? You ever notice that? It's like maybe you can reflect on some point in time in this life where, if you ever been on like a hammock, middle of the summer, you're not, let's say, being laborious, okay? So you're just chilling. So you're on a hammock, there's some trees, a little bit of a breeze, and you kind of doze off, but you're not sound asleep, okay? And you can hear echoes in the far off distance, maybe a dog barking and that dies out, and a lawnmower mowing grass and that dies out. And you're in perfect silence. You're not moving at all. In fact, you're not motivated to move at all because you're such at ease with your body. And you just lay there. You're not thinking anything. You're not figuring out things, whatever. You're just being. You're just completely relaxed in the body. And you're still as a statue. And it's natural. You're not forcing it. Some of us have had that experience. And when you come out of it, you feel super relaxed and refreshed. Almost like you've been re-energized. Every one of us carry a current of peace within these bodies. We are most likely more apt to embrace peaceful existence rather than disturbing, confronting, stretching, pulling existence. We feel better. We feel better when we're at peace. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. And we're just floating. You picture let's say you're floating. You're in the water. And all around you are people that are just grimacing to get somewhere. You know, they're swimming, they're splashing, they're making lots of noise, and the whole time you're floating. Now they swim around you and everything, and they're all heading somewhere. They don't know where they're going. If you were to say, "Hey, where are you going?" "I don't know. I'm following the group up front here." Most of us, you walk up to a river, okay? You see a bunch of people in rafts or canoes, and they're grimacing, their faces are beet red, the water's splashing all over, and they're doing everything they can to get upstream. And you're watching this, you're seeing them, you're not judging, you're just looking, and you're going, wow, I wonder where they're going, right? And then you look and you see a few people, not a lot, not compared to the ones going upstream, but a few people getting into these, they're like canoes, I guess, and there's like a lounge built into the canoe, and they just kind of lay on the lounge. They have oars, but they don't use the oars, and they just push off from the shore, and they just start to float downstream effortlessly. They're not having to do a thing. They're just laid back, and wherever that, and their feeling and their heart mind, wherever that canoe takes them is fine with them. They're not restricting, they're not constricting, they're not fighting. They're not fighting anything. They're letting go everything. Big difference compared to the others who are fighting upstream. And we've seen, movies, and maybe, even ourselves, we've gone on rafting and whatever. But it's a big difference when you decide to go downstream. Most of us are going upstream in this life. It's just about every lifetime that we've had, we elect to go upstream. Fight the current. The current is life. When we go downstream, right? And there's a current that takes us downstream. And we aren't concerned where we're gonna, where we're gonna be. We might, the canoe might hit, a piece of land area where we dock the boat, get off, walk around, see what's happening. And then if there doesn't seem to be anything, we get back in the canoe, shove off, and keep going downstream. That's life. See, there's those of us who fight life and going upstream. And there's those of us who just embrace life. We surrender to it, and it just takes us downstream. And it is our choice. Nobody else's choice. And we decide which way we're going to go. Now, when you're going downstream, right, and you've embraced life, and you're not really concerned where it's going to take you, right? You don't have a destination. You're just exuberated from the fact that you're alive. That's it. Now, on the other hand, those fighting going upstream are fighting life. They have a direction. They want to get somewhere. The problem is they don't know where that is. Wouldn't that be frustrating? This is why you see so many people fighting life that are super frustrated. They get very disenchanted because they haven't gotten where they want to get, and where they want to get, they aren't sure where that is. Wow, isn't that wild? They want to get somewhere, but they aren't sure where it is they want to get. That's what happens when we fight life. We fight life because of the fact that the ego mind, okay, is in charge. And as long as we allow the ego mind to be in charge, we're going to fight life. We're never going to stop. We'll keep fighting life. We leave the body, we leave this life, we enter another one, we will begin fighting life again. Where does that come from? Well, it's kind of ingrained in the majority of us. We're taught that. You know, you got to climb the ladder. You got to vault the mountains. You know, the peaks and the valleys. You got to get through it. No matter how tough it is, you got to get through it. And so we end up fighting life in ourselves to get to it, to find our destination, even though we do not really know what our destination is. Now, on the other hand, those of us who have chosen to not fight life and go downstream, we're not really concerned about destination. We're enjoying our journey along the way. We know the journey is endless, so doesn't it make sense that we enjoy the journey rather than fight it? And this is why so many are so frustrated at times, irritated, distraught, combative, judgmental. Even things that are good, there are those that will try to destroy the good. Even though it would benefit them, they will try to destroy it. Isn't that amazing? What's happening on this planet through this massive spiritual evolution is that some of us are deciding to love life. And it doesn't matter where it's at, what it's doing. What matters is that we're in it. We've got this wonderful opportunity to be in it. Every split second to enjoy life. And when you're not fighting it, you start to become more at peace. You go within. You discover that you are peace. You're not conflict, that's ego mind. You're not anger, that's ego mind. You're not judgment, that's ego mind. You're not hate, that's ego mind. Now you get the feeling, you'll feel it in the center of your chest at times, where the God then communicates with you from the perspective of saying, isn't this a little strange, this life we're in? How many of these have we had? Many, many. Isn't it peculiar that we are where we're at, and so many are confused, and so many are withdrawn, and so many are controlled by ego mind, and so many are super stubborn. And where is the love? We're pure love, the gods that we are. Pure love. We're not talking romantic love. That's a small portion of it. This is way beyond. And yet, there's so much conflict. You ask yourself the question, why is that? Well, it's because the ego mind is running the show. That's why. It's running the show. We don't need to run the show. We really don't need to be in control. We're here to enjoy the life. We're omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant beings that never die. And we use these bodies to manifest things we want. And by doing that, we experience things. Right? I mean, there's so many people on this planet. And it's unfortunate that this stereotypical from society, people saying American people are stupid, or the people of planet Earth are stupid and they're dumb and they don't know anything, which is not true. All of us are geniuses. Unfortunately, many are asleep. And remember, when we know we're geniuses, we're not being a genius through the ego mind. That would be disastrous. We're being geniuses through heart-mind. Doesn't it make sense that, number one, we are master manifestors. We can create anything we desire, whenever, through our thoughts. And we place those thoughts out selectively. We send them to the universe, and the universe answers. See, as long as we keep our vibrational frequency that of the universe, what do you think happens? We get what we want. And we also get what we don't want in a way, as I've used the analogy or the comparison, is that one minute you have no money, the next minute you have all that you could imagine. Okay? And and then as it sinks in, you look over and you go, wow, look at all these other things I didn't think about at the time before I had this money. So in other words, it's a yin and a yang. One might say, well, what's the difference for someone who focuses on what they don't want and then someone who focuses on what they want, so they get what they want, but yet there's the yin and the yang? Well, it's the flip side of the coin. With all that money comes responsibility. A lot of people don't like responsibility. Okay? But when you embrace it through heart-mindedness, you're ecstatic. You're exuberant because you're so happy. This is what you asked for. This is what you got. The other stuff is not an issue. So when you focus on what you don't want, that's all you get. You don't get the other side. You just get the things you don't want. This is really crucial for this entire civilization. And some will, some won't. That's it. And see, we have the highest level in the history of this civilization of those that are aware. We have about maybe close to 15% on the planet. That's huge. Now, to some it may not seem huge, but it is big. What does that do? It opens up the spiritual avenues that have been locked up for millions of years. What are the spiritual avenues? Well, you connect with your soul. The soul has a doorway. You eventually are able, that door opens up, that doorway. You enter into the soul, and you discover the God. This is where people experience things they call samadhi, right? Nirvana, Kundalini. These are all absolutely phenomenal, off-the-charts feelings that you, and it's not that does it affect the body? Yes, but you realize it's much deeper than that. It's a much deeper than a physical. And what is the feeling? You have finally reached the God that you are. Unfortunately, it doesn't last long because we're not totally there yet. But can you imagine being in a state of nirvana all the time? I'm not talking about walking around like you're high. I'm talking where you just feel absolutely marvelous. Absolutely. And not just for a short period of time. And this is where you float. So like people ask, hey, how you doing, Marv? And Marv says, well, I'm just floating. Oh, okay. More and more now. Where you just float. Why fight anything? You surrender everything, all this ego mind stuff. You just let it go. You know why? Because you have 100% faith, trust, and confidence in yourself that it's all good. It's all good. And you don't say that it's all good just to say it's all good. You say it's all good because it is all good. We look at the different aspects of things, and certain challenges are met with. Now, when you have something that comes into your life, all of us do. None of us are exempt from it. And you decide how you're going to respond. Now, a lot of us are just knee-jerk, right? That's like when you go to the doctor and he tests your reflexes and he taps the knee. It's a knee-jerk, just automatically kicks up. And so most of us have a knee-jerk response where we'll just make the decision. Others of us will look at it, and it could be upheavaling for you. It could turn everything upside down for you. Now, obviously, since we're all in these highly emotional bodies, usually we'll pick the low frequencies. We'll let it get us, so to speak. We'll fall down there. Okay? Maybe overwhelmed, maybe tremendous fear grips us, whatever. But then in that moment, we can say to ourselves, we can just let it go. It's amazing what happens. You sincerely just let it go. You lose your grip and it just floats off. And you're not bothered. You're not stressed. You're not irritated. You're not disappointed. You feel marvelous. It's a great feeling. And it doesn't disturb you. And because of that, that means your vibrational frequency has increased to the point where it all comes together in a very positive way. Well, what did that? Is there something out there that we aren't aware of that does that? No. We did it. We do it. It's our choice. See, but that's in the middle when something occurs in our lives, right? Kicks us for a loop. Most of us will go and, like I said, we'll embrace the ego mind and the insecurities and everything, and the worry and the fear and the stress. Some of us, though, will say, you know what? I am not even going to embrace this. I'm just going to let it go right through me. And it does. It goes right through you. You didn't give it any negative energy. You didn't care to. Because you know why? Because you're experienced. You've done it before so many times. All of us, we do know, except maybe a baby, but we know that we can choose how we're going to respond. We can choose. And it has nothing to do with anybody else. It only has everything to do with you and how you feel. So when you let that go, it just floats away. You are not, you're affected, but not in the way that you usually are. You might feel a little bliss. And by being focused and still and not giving it the power that it's asking for, we remain in the now. That's where you know you're in the now. You're not projecting. You're not going in reverse. You're satisfied. You're happy. You're content in the now. And this stuff that a lot of the times we are faced with through this life, we just let it pass by. We just look at it and say, "Nah, I am not going to give that any kind of power or attention at all." It's really cool because all of us have this ability, and we can decide up for ourselves. How many of us would decide, "Oh no, I'm going to go over here in this lower muck of lower vibrational frequency and become very miserable, upset, and disappointed"? It's like, "Oh no, I've done that so many times before. I'm not going to do that anymore." I'm going to choose a higher vibrational frequency of deep eternal love and peace and deep gratitude exactly the way I am in this very moment. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close this out.
Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. Quantum specialists have now proven that this universe is a holographic field of energy, matter, and consciousness. With your mind-body as a universal hologram containing the entire field, at last they've proven that the whole is contained within its parts. It may be good to know this, or even better to remember this, because someday you may want to sit down and explore this amazing universe out there. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We'll return here Tuesday, May 6th, 2025, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in